In a grand chamber filled with the most powerful leaders of the Galactic Empire, laughter echoed off the metallic walls. The Empire had gathered to discuss their next move against Earth, a small planet in a far corner of the galaxy. As holographic images of Earth's ships flickered in the air, the leaders could not hold back their ridicule. "Look at those tiny ships," scoffed High Commander Zarkon, a tall alien with blue skin and sharp features. His voice boomed across the room. "They think they can challenge us with that fleet of toy boats." Around him, other leaders joined in the mockery. They pointed fingers at the images of Earth's ships, which looked like mere dots compared to the massive dreadnoughts of the Empire. "Do they really believe they stand a chance?" sneered Lady Vera, an alien with sleek silver hair and piercing eyes. "Our ships could crush their entire fleet in moments. They are no match for our technology." As the laughter continued, one of the younger officers, Lieutenant Tarek, nervously cleared his throat. My lord, we shouldn't underestimate them. They have been working on their fleet for years," he said. His voice was shaky, but he tried to be brave. Zarkon turned to him, narrowing his eyes. "You are too soft, Tarek. Humans are weak!" "They are still using old ships, and their weapons are outdated. We have faced worse threats before. This will be easy." Meanwhile, on Earth, a group of human leaders watched the same holograms, feeling the weight of their situation. General Maya Lee stood at the front of the room, her eyes focused on the display. She knew they had to act quickly. The Empire underestimated them, and that could work to their advantage. "Listen up, everyone," she said, her voice steady. "We may not have the numbers, but we have something they don't: determination and creativity. We have built our fleet in secret, and it is more powerful than anyone realizes." A murmur of hope spread through the room. The generals and strategists had worked tirelessly to create a hidden armada of dreadnoughts. These ships were designed with advanced technology, combining human ingenuity and salvaged alien tech. They had been training and preparing for this moment, but now it was time to reveal their strength. Back in the Galactic Empire's chamber, Zarkon was still mocking Earth. "Let them come! I want to see their tiny fleet try to take on our power. We will show them what true strength looks like." His laughter echoed, and the other leaders joined in, oblivious to the danger they were inviting. Little did they know Earth's fleet was more than just ships. It was the culmination of years of work, filled with the best pilots and engineers ready to defend their home. General Lee turned to her team, determination in her eyes. "We cannot wait for them to attack. We must surprise them. Let's prepare our fleet for battle. It's time to show them the strength of humanity." The human leaders quickly organized, each person knowing their role. The engineers checked every system, and the pilots began their final preparations. They understood the odds were against them, but they felt a spark of hope. They knew that they were not just fighting for their planet, but for their very survival. As the Galactic Empire continued to laugh and boast, Earth's fleet quietly readied itself. Hidden among the stars, 500,000 dreadnoughts awaited the signal to rise and defend their planet. The Empire's mockery would soon turn to fear, and the first battle of this epic war was about to unfold. Unbeknownst to Zarkon and his allies, they had awakened a sleeping giant. Earth was ready, and it was time to turn the tables on the Empire that had mocked them for far too long. As dawn broke on Earth, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Inside the massive hangar, a group of human pilots stood ready, their hearts pounding. General Maya Lee watched from a raised platform, her expression serious yet hopeful. Today was the day they would reveal their secret fleet to the Galactic Empire. "Attention, everyone!" she called out, her voice echoing in the vast space. "Today we show the Empire that we are not to be underestimated. Our dreadnoughts are ready, and we will defend our home." The pilots cheered, a wave of energy rushing through the room. They knew they were part of something bigger than themselves. They were about to demonstrate humanity's strength and courage. General Lee turned to her second-in-command, Commander Aaron, who stood beside her, ready for action. "Are we ready to launch?" she asked, her eyes shining with determination. "Everything is set, General. The fleet is on standby," he replied, a hint of excitement in his voice. Outside the hangar, thousands of sleek, powerful dreadnoughts lined up, hidden from the Empire's view. Each ship was equipped with the latest weapons and technology. They had been built in secret, designed to take on the Empire's might. General Lee took a deep breath and nodded. "Let's do this," she said, signaling to launch the fleet. As the command was given, the hangar doors opened wide. revealing the starry expanse of space. One by one, the Dreadnoughts shot out, forming a massive formation. Their engines roared to life, and the pilots felt a rush of adrenaline as they ascended into the sky. They were ready for battle, ready to prove their worth. Meanwhile, the Galactic Empire was still underestimating Earth. High Commander Zarkon lounged in his command ship, watching the stars twinkle on the view screen. When will they learn? They are about to face total annihilation. He chuckled, dismissing the pilots and soldiers around him. Suddenly, a blip appeared on his radar. "What is that?" he demanded, his laughter fading. The screen zoomed in, revealing thousands of ships emerging from behind the planets. "No, this cannot be!" he shouted, his eyes widening in disbelief. As Earth's fleet materialized, the Empire was hit with a wave of shock. "Commander, it's a massive fleet! Thousands of dreadnoughts!" An officer cried out, panic spreading through the command ship. Zarkon's face turned pale. "Activate the shields. Prepare for battle," he ordered, but it was too late. The human fleet was already advancing, ready to strike. The pilots of Earth felt a surge of confidence as they engaged their weapons systems. "This is our moment!" shouted Captain Jenna, a fierce pilot known for her quick reflexes. She led her squadron forward, locking onto enemy targets with precision. "Let's show them what we're made of." The Dreadnoughts unleashed a barrage of firepower, lighting up the darkness of space. Explosions erupted around the Empire's ships, sending debris flying. The Empire's forces scrambled to respond, but they were caught off guard by the unexpected strength of Earth's fleet. "Return fire! Return fire!" Zarkon yelled, his voice filled with frustration. But Earth's ships were swift and coordinated, dodging attacks and striking back with deadly accuracy. As the battle raged on, the tables had turned. The once-mocked fleet of Earth was now a force to be reckoned with. Human pilots flew with determination, refusing to back down. They were fighting for their planet, their people, and their freedom. In the chaos, General Lee remained calm, watching the battle unfold from her command ship. "Keep pushing forward! We have them on the run!" she commanded, her heart swelling with pride as she saw her fleet fighting with such courage. The Galactic Empire, once confident in its superiority, was now facing the harsh reality of Earth's hidden strength. Zarkon watched in disbelief as one by one his ships fell to the relentless assault of humanity. The laughter that had filled the Empire's chamber now turned to fear and chaos. Earth's fleet was no longer a tiny force. They were a powerful army, ready to protect their home at all costs. And in that moment, the Galactic Empire learned that underestimating humanity was a grave mistake. This part builds tension and excitement, showcasing Earth's hidden power in a simple and engaging manner. If you need any adjustments or additional details, just let me know. The fierce battle raged in the cold, dark expanse of space. Dreadnoughts from Earth flew boldly into the fray, their engines glowing brightly against the backdrop of stars. High Commander Zarkon of the Galactic Empire watched the chaos unfold from his command ship, his face twisted in anger and disbelief. "Attack! We cannot let these tiny ships defeat us!" he shouted, his voice booming across the control room. His officers scrambled to follow his orders, their eyes wide with fear and confusion. The Empire had never faced such a strong challenge before, especially from a planet they had mocked so ruthlessly. Meanwhile, Earth's pilots felt a surge of confidence as they fought back. Captain Jenna led her squadron, her heart racing with excitement and fear. "Stay close, team! We can't let them divide us!" she commanded, glancing at her comrades. They nodded, ready to follow her lead. The Dreadnoughts moved in formation, firing their weapons with precision. Explosions lit up the darkness of space as their blasts struck enemy ships. One by one, the Empire's ships began to crumble under the relentless attack. "Focus on the larger ships," Jenna yelled. "They are our main target." Her squadron agreed, locking onto their targets. The Dreadnoughts had powerful weapons, and now was the time to use them. In the heart of the battle, General Maya Lee watched the chaos from her command ship. She was proud of her pilots, but knew the fight was far from over. "Stay sharp, everyone! The Empire won't back down easily," she reminded her crew, her eyes fixed on the battle screens. As the Dreadnoughts continued to press forward, the Empire began to fight back with everything they had. Massive beams of energy shot out from their ships, creating bright flashes in the darkness. Earth's fleet was taken by surprise as several of their Dreadnoughts were hit, spinning off into space. "Look out!" shouted Lieutenant Tarek, watching as a fellow pilot's ship erupted into flames. "We need to protect each other." He felt a rush of determination, knowing that they were all in this together. But just as they began to regroup, Zarkon executed a bold strategy. "Flank them! Surround their fleet!" he ordered, trying to regain control. His ships moved swiftly, attempting to encircle Earth's dreadnoughts. In the midst of the chaos, Jenna spotted an opening. "We need to split their forces! Let's hit them from both sides!" she shouted, adrenaline pumping through her veins. Her squadron followed her lead, darting to the left while other dreadnoughts advanced from the right. As they attacked, Jenna felt the thrill of battle. The Empire's ships began to falter under the unexpected pressure. "We're doing it! Keep pushing!" she encouraged her team. The energy in the cockpit was electric as they fought against overwhelming odds. However, the Empire was not finished yet. Zarkon, realizing his plan was failing, ordered a retreat. "Regroup! We'll strike from another angle!" he bellowed. His fleet began to pull back, but not without consequences. Earth's dreadnoughts seized the moment, taking down more ships as the Empire fled. In the control room of the command ship, the mood shifted from confidence to despair. "They are gaining ground! What do we do now?" one officer shouted, panic in his voice. "We fight harder! We cannot show weakness!" Zarkon roared back, his eyes blazing with fury. He would not allow the mockery of Earth to continue. Back on the battlefield, General Lee felt a swell of hope. "This is our chance! Let's finish this!" she called to her pilots. The dreadnoughts surged forward, their weapons firing rapidly. The Empire's ships were caught off guard again, and several more fell to Earth's relentless assault. As the battle continued, the tension grew. Earth's fleet had risen to the challenge, proving that they were a force to be reckoned with. The Galactic Empire, once so confident, was now scrambling to regroup, and the tide of the battle had turned against them. In that moment, the pilots of Earth felt a unity and strength that came from fighting for their home. They were no longer the underdogs, they were warriors ready to defend their planet. The battle had truly begun, and Earth was determined to emerge victorious. The battle between Earth's dreadnoughts and the Galactic Empire raged on, bright flashes of energy and explosions lighting up the dark canvas of space. Captain Jenna and her squadron were fully engaged, adrenaline pumping through their veins as they fought against overwhelming odds. Each moment felt like an eternity, but they were determined to prove their strength. General Maya Lee watched the battle unfold from her command ship. Despite their initial success, she sensed that the Empire was regrouping. "We can't let them recover!" she shouted to her crew. "We must keep the pressure on!" Her heart raced as she thought about what was at stake. They were fighting not just for victory, but for the future of Earth. The Empire's ships began to reorganize. High Commander Zarkon, frustrated by the initial losses, was now more focused than ever. "They think they can win? Let's show them what real power looks like!" he barked, slamming his fist on the command console. His officers quickly scrambled to execute his orders, determined to turn the tide. In the chaos, Jenna's squadron was engaged in fierce dogfights. One of her fellow pilots, Lieutenant Tarek, called out, "Captain! They're trying to flank us again!" Jenna glanced at the radar, noticing several enemy ships moving in from the sides. "Split into 2 groups. We'll counterattack!" she commanded. Her squadron quickly adjusted, following her lead. They split up, attacking from 2 directions, creating confusion among the Empire's ranks. But the Empire was more prepared than Jenna had anticipated. As Earth's dreadnoughts charged forward, they faced a sudden onslaught of firepower. The Empire unleashed a series of missiles that streaked toward them, illuminating the darkness like deadly fireworks. "Brace for impact!" Jenna shouted, gripping the controls tightly. She watched in horror as one of her squadron mates was hit, their ship erupting in flames. The loss was a harsh reminder of the stakes they faced. General Lee saw the destruction on her screens. "We need to regroup and find a new strategy," she yelled, trying to keep her composure. The tension in the control room was palpable. Each loss weighed heavily on her heart. Suddenly, a message came through from an unexpected source. "General Lee, this is Lieutenant Darius. We have a chance. There's a weak point in their formation." His voice crackled over the comms, filled with urgency. Lee felt a glimmer of hope. "What do you mean?" she asked, intrigued. "If we can focus our fire on that weak point, we might break their lines," Darius explained. "We have to act fast before they recover." General Lee quickly assessed the situation and nodded. "All dreadnoughts, listen up. We're going to concentrate our fire on the Empire's left flank. Prepare for a coordinated attack. The pilots nodded, rallying behind her command. Let's show them we're not finished, Jenna shouted, her spirit reignited. The pilots reoriented their ships, setting their sights on the weak point Darius had identified. As Earth's fleet moved into position, Zarkon realized something was wrong. What are they doing? Why are they regrouping? He asked, confusion filling the command room. His officers exchanged worried glances, sensing that something was amiss. Just then, the Dreadnoughts unleashed a powerful volley of fire. Bright beams shot through space, targeting the Empire's vulnerable flank. The blasts struck with precision, tearing through the enemy ships. Explosions erupted, sending debris flying in all directions. Jenna felt a surge of triumph as she watched the Empire's formation falter. "Keep firing! Don't let up," she encouraged her squadron. The energy in her cockpit was electric as they fought with newfound determination. The tide of battle was shifting. Zarkon, furious and desperate, barked orders to his crew. "Reinforce that flank! They can't break through!" But the Empire was struggling to respond as the onslaught continued. General Lee watched as Earth's fleet pressed forward. The thrill of victory filled her heart. "We can do this! Let's finish what we started!" she cried, rallying her crew. The atmosphere was charged with hope and excitement. As more enemy ships fell, the realization hit the Empire. They were losing control, and their confidence was crumbling. Zarkon's face twisted in anger as he realized that his underestimation of Earth's fleet had led to this moment. The battle had reached a turning point, and the humans were determined to seize the advantage. With the Empire on the back foot, the Dreadnoughts pushed forward, ready to claim victory. The fight was far from over, but for the first time it felt like hope was within reach. The battle raged on, but the atmosphere in the command ship of Earth's fleet was electric. General Maya Lee stood tall, watching as her dreadnoughts pressed their attack against the Galactic Empire. The tide had truly turned, and she could feel the weight of victory in the air. "Keep firing! We're almost through their lines!" she shouted, her voice ringing with confidence. The pilots, fueled by determination and adrenaline, responded with renewed energy. Jenna, captain of one of the dreadnoughts, felt her heart race as she led her squadron into the fray. The enemy ships were falling one after another, their once powerful formations crumbling under the relentless assault. High Commander Zarkon, watching from his command ship, felt desperation creep into his heart. He had underestimated Earth, and now it seemed they would pay the price. "Reinforce our defenses! Regroup and counterattack!" Zarkon barked at his officers. But his commands fell on deaf ears as chaos spread through the Empire's ranks. The dreadnoughts were moving too quickly, too fiercely, and the Empire could not keep up. Jenna and her squadron flew in perfect formation, their weapons blasting through enemy ships. "This is it, team! We've got them on the run!" she yelled, her eyes shining with excitement. Each victory felt like a small triumph, fueling their determination. General Lee watched the battle unfold with pride. "We've come so far. We can't let up now," she urged her crew. The hope of Earth rested on their shoulders, and they were ready to fight until the end. As the dreadnoughts continued their assault, Zarkon realized that time was running out. "Prepare to retreat," he ordered, his voice filled with anger and frustration. "We can't lose to these humans!" But Earth's fleet was relentless. They pressed forward, not allowing the Empire to escape. Jenna spotted a large enemy ship, the flagship of the Empire. "That's their command ship! If we take it down, we can end this," she shouted. With a fierce determination, Jenna led her squadron toward the flagship. The Empire's defenses were weak, and the dreadnoughts moved in like a swarm of bees, firing their weapons with precision. Explosions erupted around them, but they pressed on, knowing victory was within reach. The flagship shuddered as Jenna's squadron unleashed their firepower. "All weapons, fire at will," she commanded. The beams of energy struck the flagship, tearing through its armor and creating massive breaches. Inside the flagship, Zarkon felt the panic rising. "They're attacking us! We have to hold on!" he yelled, but his crew was losing hope. The relentless assault from Earth was too much to bear. Finally, with one last powerful strike, Jenna's squadron managed to breach the flagship's core. The ship erupted in a brilliant explosion, sending shockwaves through space. Cheers erupted from Earth's fleet as they witnessed the Empire's command ship crumble before their eyes. "We did it! We won!" Jenna shouted, her voice filled with disbelief and joy. Her squadron cheered, celebrating their hard-fought victory. General Lee joined in the celebration, tears of joy streaming down her face. As the remnants of the Empire fled into the darkness of space, the Dreadnoughts gathered together. They had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. Earth had shown the Galactic Empire that they were a force to be reckoned with. In the aftermath of the battle, General Lee addressed her crew. "Today, we have proven that Earth is not to be underestimated. We fought with courage and strength, and we will continue to protect our home." Her words ignited a fire in everyone's hearts. As the fleet made its way back to Earth, Jenna felt a sense of pride wash over her. They had fought for their planet, and now they could return as heroes. The victory was not just for them, but for all of humanity. But deep down, they knew this was just the beginning. The Galactic Empire had seen what Earth was capable of, and they would not forget. The universe was vast and filled with challenges, but they were ready to face whatever came next. Together, they would build a brighter future, one where humanity stood tall among the stars. The battle was won, but the journey had just begun.